The biggest threat was German night fighters. The tail gunners were the bomber's first line of defense. Learning how to hit a fast-moving fighter plane involved constant practice. "87-year-old Dave Fellows wants to show Colin and I how he did it.
So you did use clay pigeon shooting, these clays as practice, didn't you?
We did a lot, right from the very elementary gunnery school, because it was the best way of teaching deflection and also your line of sight.
Gunners were given a regular allocation of clays so that they continued to practice.
"18 inches ahead."
Oh dear.
Try a bit more over towards you. Try a bit more up in the air.
You feel the fraternal competition kind of starting to swell.
Pull.
It's hard to hit these fast-moving clays.
Pull.
Shooting down night fighters must have been infinitely more difficult.
Okay. Really close.
From going through the training to actually flying in the rear turret there for a real mission must have been a big
I
difference.
had eyes sticking out like organ stops,
Did you?
looking for an aeroplane.
Yeah.
There was an enemy one.
Yeah.
I
Oh, he's right in there,
It's
isn't
right quick, isn't he?
Huh?
Oh, you got a bit off the side of that one.
Yeah. We winged it.
You winged it. You definitely winged that last one there. Having trained with a shotgun, Dave then had to master the .303 caliber machine gun. Armourer David Main wants to show us how effective they were.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm shooting at metal plate the same thickness as the armour on a German night fighter.
Okay, Ewan, in your own time, go on. Okay, clear. This was protection for the pilot and aircrew,
Yeah.
usually around his seat. And it's actually failed to penetrate in the armour piercing or the ball.
Oh, yeah. The ball didn't go through.
Nope.
And the armoured piercing sort of didn't go through either. It
No.
broke the back, but it didn't
More
go
than survivable, that kind of thing. Dave's chance of shooting the aircraft down was purely hitting a fuel line, a hydraulics line, or a control surface. That is the only thing that was going to bring that aircraft down using 303.
The tail gunner strikes me as the loneliest and toughest job of all. I want to get some sense of what it was like for Dave, aged just 19. So I'm going to squeeze into the Lancaster turret, wearing all the gear that he wore to withstand the sub-zero temperatures. That would shut behind me. That's quite weird. I mean, that's quite a claustrophobic feeling. So that's your world now. For 9 hours or more, this is my world.
Well, if it had a thermometer in there, it would never got above zero, that's for sure. It was cold. There was no good taking a flask, because at around about 20,000 feet or more, it used to freeze up anyhow. They gave you a bar of chocolate, but that froze so hard you couldn't even chew it. You couldn't stand, couldn't do it. All you could do was move like this. That's all you could do.
It's difficult enough getting in, but getting out in a hurry was another thing altogether. So if I had to bail out of this, my parachute's out there. Okay, I would have to turn the turret into this position so the doors were there. I'd have to open the doors like this. This one gets a bit stuck. I'd have to lean back, grab my parachute here, off that, get it back in the air, clip my parachute on, Then I'd have to turn the turret round so that my back was outside here, and then fall backwards out into the night. And if the plane was on fire, or if the plane was in a spin, which it often was, it would be, I mean, almost impossible, I think. Which is why so many of the poor rear gunners didn't make it. You know, they didn't get out.
I knew where my parachute was. If the skipper gave the orders to bail out, I knew exactly what to do. We had an attitude in our aircraft, in our crew, if the airplane stays up there, we stay with the aeroplane. Simple as that.
From my mother's sleep I fell into the state, and I hunched in its belly till my wet fur froze. 6 miles from Earth, loosed from its dream of life, I woke to black flak and the nightmare fighters. And when I died, they washed me out of the turret with a hose.